Johnny Depp didn't just leave Hollywood. He's dismantling it from the outside. While the headlines obsessed over courtroom drama, something far more strategic was unfolding behind the scenes. A psychological pivot, a cultural migration, a reinvention so precise it feels architectural. This isn't a comeback story. It's a rebrand engineered in Parisian theaters, Roman galleries, and Venetian corridors of power. Today, we're breaking down how Johnny Depp traded billion-dollar franchises for French auteur cinema, and why this may be the most sophisticated identity shift of his career. When Depp stepped away from Hollywood's studio machine, it wasn't framed as strategy. It looked like retreat. But exile can be powerful. After years of public litigation and industry alienation, the American blockbuster system had quietly recoded him as a liability, a troubled franchise asset. And in Hollywood, perception is currency. So instead of fighting for re-entry, he changed the arena. Europe became psychological distance, not just geographically, but symbolically. Hollywood manufactures intellectual property. Europe curates culture. In America, Depp was inseparable from Pirates of the Caribbean and the immortal chaos of Jack Sparrow. In Europe, he could become something else entirely, not a corporate asset, but an autonomous artist seeking creative asylum in the old world. And that distinction changes everything. The turning point wasn't subtle, it was historic. When Depp opened the Cannes Film Festival with Jeanne du Barry, he wasn't just accepting a role, he was signaling transformation. Performing in French was not a vanity choice, it was technical submission to craft. Language is vulnerability, and vulnerability reframed as discipline becomes prestige. Then came the stage, Cannes Film Festival. Cannes is not Comic-Con, it is not the Dolby Theater, it is ritualistic cultural validation. And when Depp received a 7-minute standing ovation there, it bypassed American media gatekeepers entirely. It was a coronation without Hollywood's permission. Psychologically, this is powerful because it reframes narrative ownership. Instead of being a niche, eccentric character actor in mass-market franchises, he became something more European in coding, auteur-adjacent, intellectual, continental. And in that ecosystem, mystique replaces controversy. But France was only the beginning. The next move was permanence. In Rome and Venice, Depp shifted into the fine art world, unveiling gallery exhibitions that emphasized craft over celebrity spectacle. Unlike film premieres, gallery openings don't scream for headlines, they whisper legacy. And then came Modì. With Modì, Depp stepped behind the camera again, directing a feature inspired by Italian modernist painter Amedeo Modigliani. This is psychologically critical. For decades, Depp was the subject of the gaze. Now he controls it. Directing shifts him from performer to architect. By embedding himself in Italy's artistic lineage, in cities like Rome and Venice, he aligns his identity not with box office volatility, but with historical permanence. Italian art history stretches centuries. Hollywood memory cycles last a weekend. See the difference? Rebrands aren't only strategic, they're visual. Notice the wardrobe shift. Gone is the overt pirate eccentricity. In its place, tailored continental silhouettes, muted palettes, textured layering that signals European refinement. Luxury heritage houses replace costume-coded chaos. This is deliberate aesthetic signaling. When photographed against Mediterranean architecture or historic French interiors, Depp appears less like a fallen blockbuster star, and more like a man aging into cultural gravity. Even the landscapes matter. European stone villages, Renaissance backdrops, Venetian canals. They project timelessness, and timelessness is the opposite of scandal. Psychologically, this functions as armor. Personal vulnerability is reframed as enigmatic European cool. The narrative changes from unstable Hollywood rebel to misunderstood continental artist. Same man, different mythology. So, is it working? Public sentiment has shifted. Conversations now orbit craftsmanship rather than chaos, performance rather than personal life, direction rather than dispute. By choosing prestige over profit, Depp has rewritten the playbook for aging global icons. Instead of chasing franchise resurrection, he chose cultural repositioning. And that's rare. In an industry addicted to intellectual property recycling, this is contrarian strategy. The long-term question becomes fascinating. Is this continental identity permanent? Or is Europe a fortress? A place to rebuild symbolic capital before a carefully negotiated Hollywood return? Because if he does return, it won't be as Jack Sparrow. It will be as something far more difficult to commodify, an artist who proved he could survive outside the machine. Hollywood creates legends, but Europe cultivates myth. And right now, Johnny Depp is choosing myth. The real story isn't whether he'll rejoin the franchise system, it's whether he's already transcended it. Because when an icon stops chasing validation and starts curating legacy, that's not exile, that's evolution.